Hi, y'all. My name's Rod Richardson, and I've been asked recently to address some of the myths that circulate around about network marketing. And so, first, just a little bit about myself. Of course, I am a professional network marketer. I have a team of over 100,000 people all over the United States, every state in the United States, in fact, in 51 international markets. And so this is an area that I'm probably very qualified to talk about as essentially being one of the top network marketers in the world. So oftentimes I think it's a little humorous when people approach me about the viability of certain business models when in fact they know nothing about it. I would imagine that my background and credentials make me quite the authority on whether or not a specific type of business model is legitimate or not. Now, a little bit more, my previous background, of course, I've been an entrepreneur. I've built a few other traditional businesses as well. I've been a business consultant. I spent 4 years turning around over 300 other small businesses and companies with marketing strategies, capitalization. So I'm probably a pretty authoritative resource on traditional business as well, on what the differences would be and how they work. Then I spent about 6 years after that as a trainer for distributors and network marketing companies all over the world. Probably virtually every major brand network marketing company that you could think of, I've probably had a spot in training their distributor force or worked with their corporation on training. And so I would say that between my business background and my network marketing successes and my involvement in the industry, I'm probably a pretty credible source on what I'd like to share with you. So first of all, a little story. I flew into Ireland one time and it was in an off-season time, and so there was only me and one other individual there, and we were waiting to go get our rental cars, and so we were having a conversation, and he asked me what I do, and I said that I was a distributor in a network marketing company, and he goes, "Oh, you're one of those guys." And I said, "Well, what's one of those guys?" And he said, "Well, you're one of those guys that run around the world and manipulate people into doing things that they wouldn't normally do." And I go, "Well, that's interesting." I go, what I thought that I did was shared a product with value with other people, and when they purchased it, I got a percentage of that payment." And of course, he adjusted himself in the seat. He said, "Well, I'd never really thought about that before." And I go, "Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions about network marketing, and maybe some of those assessments are founded in certain cases. Certainly, network marketing isn't its own beacon in its own right, just as traditional business is not a beacon in its own light either. There are good companies and there are bad companies. And so essentially when you choose to become a network marketing representative for a company, you're essentially partnering with your partner company. Now, if the company that you've selected or chose is at different phases of their life cycle, or their product has no real value, or any number of other factors that aren't conducive to good business, then of course you're going to be aligned with a bad business partner. Just like if you started a traditional business and you got lined up with bad business partners, or you had unethical business partners, or you were undercapitalized as a business, you'd probably go out of business. And so it's really not a fair assessment to say that all traditional business is bad or that all network marketing is bad. These are basically, there are good companies and there are bad companies. And so when you're making a selection, it's important, just as if you were choosing to go into business with other people to start a traditional business, that you would do the same type of due diligence on your partner network marketing company. Now, one of the things that I saw when I was in the industry is that as I went about training various members of hundreds of different network marketing companies, that there were successful people in every company. and so then as I got to looking a little further, I realized that there were not only successful people in every company, but there were common attributes among successful people in each company. And I've noticed that the same with traditional business. There are successful people in traditional business, and there are unsuccessful people in traditional business. I remember one of my mentors who was, pretty close to being a billionaire. He told me one time, he said, my kids are not going to get to run my company just because their last name is the same as our company, like I did. He goes, they won't get to be CEO. We have to have the very best. And then he said, if I were to give this to any of my sons, they would run it into the ground. And so management, or the ability to succeed, is an attribute that's really in the hands of the individual. It's not necessarily something that's totally on the back of the company or your business partnerships or anything like that. Success is self-development of yourself. It's understanding, it's developing your mindset and your skill set that oftentimes will determine your success. But aligning yourself with the right type of company is great. And I would say that probably one of the most important things is that you're representing a product that you believe provides value to other people. When I was selecting a company, I had 3 specific criteria. One is the product had to provide an absolute value proposition. In other words, it would be something that people would want and that they could buy from me. And then secondly, I knew that a good, stable company would have to have a great management team. And then third, I understood that if that company had a productive compensation model that worked in my favor instead of against me, then I would have the recipe for success. Then if I brought myself to the table, developing my skills and developing my mindset, having a determination and a mindset to succeed, a determination or a tenacity to succeed, grit. Of course, these things all lead to your ability to succeed, because if the elements of the company are right, well, the elements of you need to be right as well. And this is true for any type of success. It's not exclusive to network marketing or traditional business. This is a career standard as well. If you're going to work for other people, then largely your advancement or success is going to be to the amount of development and energy and passion that you put into yourself, whether you work for somebody or whether you work for yourself. And so, again, so these are some factors. Also, sometimes people misconstrue network marketing as being a pyramid scheme or some sort of Ponzi. Now, I've always been fascinated with people's thought process. I've heard people say that it's a product-driven Ponzi scheme, and now that might be true in certain instances. Maybe there's companies that have launched that way that maybe have shield products that attract people to an opportunity. But these are generally short-lived companies. And again, there's bad companies no matter where you go. There's bad employers. You probably had a bad job before or been involved with a company that had unethical practices or something to that nature. And so again, this is not exclusive to any type of distribution channel. Now, here's the reality. A Ponzi scheme is, in fact, the sale of nothing, and that sale or cash flow comes back and pays other people, and so people have inadvertently coined or tried to phrase network marketing as some sort of Ponzi scheme, which is not accurate. In fact, network marketing is really only a distribution and marketing model. So, for example, there isn't anything unholy or unethical or anything about choosing word-of-mouth marketing and network marketing over, say, advertising or other types of marketing channels, whether it's street marketing or setting up a cart on the street. That's a form of distribution of a product. And so really good products of course, that need a lot of education or can excel under a lot of education, thrive in a network marketing business model, because this is generally a sales model in which an individual has the opportunity to own their business, and then they take the message of the product, the company and its products, to other people in the promise that they can earn a percentage of the sales that occur as customers use these products. And so I think the other area that people get confused, not understanding that network marketing is simply another way to distribute products. And in fact, when you really understand the model, you would probably come to the conclusion, as I have, that it's probably one of the most fair business models that exists, because it gives everyone the opportunity to participate in the upside of the growth of a company. Versus if you go to work for somebody, you might be guaranteed a paycheck, but you don't really have an upside in that. If you apply yourself and your energies and provide value to a network marketing company, of course your customer base grows. And if your customer base grows, you're getting paid a percentage of the products that your customer base purchases. Now let me throw a contrast into this, because sometimes people that I've heard have done school reports or things like that on network marketing as an industry, detailing some of its negative factors, are one, I find, making the assumption that people join network marketing companies to build or under some premise that they're under a get-rich type of program. Well, this isn't the case. In fact, 85% of people that join network marketing businesses do so to get the best pricing on the product. So therefore, a full 85% of those involved in network marketing are actually not involved in network marketing. They're involved as a customer base purchasing products offered by network marketers and network marketing companies. Now that means that 15% of the numbers that you actually hear are people that have opted for an income option. Now, you've got to remember that most people, probably 90% of people that opt for an income, don't really put any energy into it. Now, I'm sure you and I could admit that it would be fair to assume that if no one put energy into their network marketing business or any business that they were to start, that it wouldn't necessarily be conducive to expecting results in that business. Now, interestingly enough, when you consider this stat, you'll find that success rates are about the same across the board in everything. So for example, let's take real estate agents, for example. Now, you got to remember that everyone that goes to get licensed as a real estate agent expects to sell real estate. So let's contrast that to network marketing. Everyone that joins a network marketing company, the vast majority, 85%, have no intentions of participating in the income side, okay? So here's the contrast. 85% of real estate agents that get licensed never sell a single home, okay? Now, what you're probably beginning to understand then is that people, basically the success failure rate is about the same no matter what you choose to do. I wished I had the statistics on the number of people that attempt to be a doctor, for example, under the assumption that everyone that goes down a pre-med path is going to make a great income as a world-class surgeon. Well, that's just not the case. Many will fail out. Probably a huge percentage will never graduate college, and a big chunk of those that do will probably end up in nominal jobs in the medical field, and there'll be a handful or very small select percentage, of course, that go on to become world-class surgeons or make a significant income through that profession. And so I just wanted you to understand that the ratios are about the same no matter what you choose to do. In network marketing, I have found to be very predictable. Right now, of course, I have about 1,000 leaders on my team, and these are people that I go around the world and help train and mentor. I have a small group of those that have gone on to extremely successful income rates. In other words, multi-six figures income. But again, I have a large base, and I have a few that have come forward, and I have a handful that have actually put their mind and energy into developing themselves to achieve success. This isn't something that's just handed to you. But here's what I do like about network marketing. Even though I'm not saying that it's easy, I'm not saying that anyone can do it. I'm not promoting that it's any sort of get rich quick type of pathway. But here are the attributes of it. It is entry-level entrepreneurship. So basically, for the price of entry, you own a franchise, and you have the option of growing that franchise or not. And I want to tell you that if you were to put $1 million into a traditional franchise unit, your likelihood of going broke is probably higher than your failure rate in network marketing, because your cost of entry into network marketing is nominal. It's basically the entry fee, whatever that is for that company. And most of the time, that entry fee comes with product. And so, in fact, you're only making a product purchase for products you supposedly wanted. Now, I wouldn't recommend joining a company that you didn't want the products, because it's very difficult to represent something that you don't like or you have no passion for, or you don't feel works for you. The old adage that doesn't matter what the product is flawed. It's a flawed philosophy. This is, I believe very much in representing something that you believe deeply in, and a product that works very well for you. But network marketing brings entrepreneurship and its potential to the lowest common denominators of society. So there isn't a high capital barrier to becoming or starting a network marketing business. And so as such, you can actually start a network marketing business and build yourself up and capitalize yourself and basically leverage that into further growth or even wealth creation. Which is a great thing. That was a model that I chose because it had such a low path of entry. I had so little overhead. I have a partner company. The company that I represent, for example, handles all of the capitalization and overhead and all the employment issues and tax issues and legal issues. The company handles all that. Long I have to do is tell the story of the product and the company, build a customer base, and serve that customer base. For a long-term residual business, and so it's great. It's great because it also basically the whole world is your territory. If I were to buy a franchise business, I might have a designated territory, but with network marketing, it circumvents the need for territories because you're going from person to person to person. So I might have a few people in my local area, and I might have a few people all over the place, and I could have a neighbor next door to me that actually belongs to another team, which I do, in fact. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter because my network leads to their network, and on it goes. It's a very beautiful model. And now one of the things that I've really appreciated about it, and it's really blessed our family, is because network marketing does have the ability to create a true residual. And so, for example, if you have a product that's highly desired by its customer base, they'll continue to order it. And if you've built your network properly and you've trained your people and you've brought your leadership, raised your leadership up and things like that, then as people continue to buy, I get a percentage of the accounts that are in my team, which is basically our traditional business model. And so if you're a person that's heard stuff or you've been afraid to give network marketing a try, I just invite you. Don't listen to your Uncle Buck that couldn't succeed at folding grocery bags. Listen to people that are truly successful in their profession. I'm arguably one of the most successful network marketers in the world. So if I were me, I would listen to me. And so anyway, I thought I'd share these thoughts. I've had several requests for people to address this and maybe shed some light on it. So anyway, if you have any questions, you can go to connectwithrod.com and I'd be glad to interact with you. Talk to you soon.